I'm here with Tim Unwin, UNESCO Chair for ICT for D. Tim, you were the Master of Ceremonies at the opening ceremony here, and you've also been moderator for the first high-level plenary discussion. Tell me a little bit about what's been happening here at WSIS.
Well, I think the opening plenary sort of effectively exhausted me, and we had 20 ministers or so from different governments, which I think is an amazing thing for the WSIS Forum. As I know you know, WSIS began 2003 in Geneva, so it's nice to be back here, and 2005 in Tunis. And I think it's fair to say that the immediate aftermath of that perhaps didn't take things forward quite as aggressively as it might have done. And so to come here in 2011, and they've got over 1,400 delegates registered and more than 1,000 elsewhere online, I think that shows the real momentum that's picking up. And I was actually really impressed with the commitment of the ministers who came, and that is quite a significant number. And you had the leaders of 4 UN organisations there, which shows the coming together of the international community. The theme is working together. My main work is actually on how we craft partnerships that bring together governments, private sector, civil society, and the academy. Because we can all contribute different things, and it's actually remarkably difficult to craft those partnerships. But I had a feeling there's a commitment and a will actually to do so.
What are the themes you've seen come out of this year's WSIS? 3
or 4 things that one could pick up on. One is there's a real commitment to finding ways in which ICTs can support some of the poorest and most marginalised people, and that's great because that's something I have a lot of empathy with. The poorest people living in rural areas, but also people with disabilities, and finding ways that we can make the advantages that many of us now take for granted available to them. I think secondly, a commitment to thinking about how we deliver partnerships in new ways. There's an awful lot of rhetoric about partnerships, everybody talks about it, but many of them are not entirely successful, and many of them make the same mistakes over and over again. And I think thirdly, I was just so impressed about how many ministers from across the world had come together and valued this event, which shows that there is increasing buy-in at a very high level in the international community. And if we can all work together effectively, bringing governments, private sector and civil society to find ways in which ICTs can deliver on, for me, that's why it's ICT 4D, it's for development, how we can use ICTs to support the lives and the life chances of the poorest and most marginalised. That has to be good.
So do you think we'll ever bridge the digital divide?
I actually don't like the term digital divide. Yeah, there was so much. If you think back to 2000, the new millennium, there was such hope. The private sector was doing really well. People thought, gosh, how can we use this? Is it a silver bullet almost that will deliver on development needs? And it was this rhetoric of the fight against poverty, which is stupid. I mean, why do we should be coming together in peace to solve poverty rather than, but that's a different question. And it's the same thing, kind of bridging the digital divide, this rhetoric. I remember an African friend sort of around the original WSIS process talking about cheetah pole vaulting, that the African people, they run very fast and will use the pole vault to go, which is perhaps a better analogy, but I think we have to look at it more systemically, how we can make interventions that will actually enable the most disadvantaged in our societies actually get a share. I was going to say a fair share, but then you get into questions about what fair is. But can use this incredibly transformatory technology to transform their lives.
Tim Unwin, thank you very much.
Thank you.